up, Diva fam, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Obviously you can tell by the title down below, we are doing part 2 of the eyeshadow palette tag that Miss Allie Glines and Samantha March have put together. So I'm excited to show you guys my eyeshadow palette collection. Again, I prefaced in the first video that I wouldn't have decluttered my eyeshadow palettes. There probably would have been more contenders in this. I will try not to like overlap palettes if I can that I put in part 1, because I kind of put those off the side so I wouldn't do that. But let's just go ahead and dive into this video. So without further ado, you guys know the gist. If you like videos like this, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to go ahead and hit that notification bell down below so you miss a video with me, your girl Sandra D, and let's just go ahead and get into this. Alright, so we're a little bit at a different angle. Just so we can kind of get into my eyeshadow palettes. I have a few that are in my everyday drawer, and I have obviously my drawers that are back here behind me. Like I said, I decluttered some of my eyeshadow palettes if you guys want to see that decluttering video, and I'll have it linked somewhere up here or down below. If this is your first time to my YouTube channel, welcome. I would love for you guys to be a part of the hashtag DEEVFAM, so I'm going to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. That's what I meant. So you guys can subscribe to all of my feature content. Post video 2 to 3 times a week, or as much as possible as I can. And I also do monthly giveaways and stuff like that. So any giveaway I have going on, I will also link it down below for you guys. I do open international giveaways, also US. So again, you don't want to miss those. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this video. So part 2 is what we're doing of this eyeshadow palette tag. And the questions already start off. What is my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette? So the one I reach for the most a lot of the time is this beautiful thing right here. This is the original Jaclyn Hill and Morphe eyeshadow palette. This is the original formula, not the redone formula, because honestly it's not. I've swatched it in stores and it doesn't feel the same as this one. I actually think this one is like 10 times better than the reformulated stuff, because I even have some of the new eyeshadow palettes and I don't buy Morphe and I'm not really a big fan of them, but I have heard that Jaclyn put together like her own formula with Morphe when it came to these eyeshadow palettes. But I use this all the time. This is like my favorite inner corner shade. I love using this one. Oh, especially this one. This one's pretty dug into a lot. And you can see that like I have like dipped into a lot of these shadows. So this is like my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette right now at the moment, over the past few years, that I have consistently used almost every single day. Now, as for new favorite eyeshadow palette that I have recently bought in, that I've been just using a lot of, I'm trying to figure out, oh, it's kind of a little bit of a tie between 2 palettes that I use quite frequently, and they're not in this drawer. Again, like I tried to say, I'm trying not to overlap palettes. But my new favorite palette that I have been using a lot lately comes from Makeup Revolution. I've been using a lot of like the Soph X and Roxy palettes, but this isn't the one. Where is the Roxy palette that I like grab for? Because she has 2 of them. There's 2 Roxy palettes. So please pause for 2 seconds so I can find that eyeshadow palette. Is it behind me? Is it at the top? Like, where is this? Ah, found her. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so this is the Roxy palette. This is the Roxasaurus Ride or Die palette. This is what it looks like. You can see the shades that I have dug into. The pigmentation, obviously, Makeup Revolution does a really great job. They're really great at like pushing out, you know, some creations. But this one's just really good. I really fell in love with this yes shade right here for us. Also, Shook was a really beautiful like golden shade that I really love, along with Mars, which is that one. And then this cranberry shade, oh, so beautiful. And then I've also used the Unicorn and also Iconic. I've dug into the matte shades a lot. You guys can kind of just, again, see the indentations of this palette. I actually did reach for this for a whole entire month, consistently using this almost like every other day as well. But I kind of reorganized where I had everything and kind of moved this stuff back into these drawers, because I have the drawers all kind of like categorized between like collab drawers and then also just like everyday eyeshadow drawers, just by like regular brands, so that they kind of don't get any of that stuff kind of confused. But now that I'm in here, I've kind of made a mess of it all, and nothing is organized the way that it was a second ago from like that first eyeshadow palette tag video that I did. So, alright, so let's just go ahead and keep going. The next one says, I kept for the memories. Ooh. I don't know what to say for that one. Ooh, an eyeshadow palette that I kept for the memories that I didn't want to let go of. Okay, so I'm probably going to say when I was going through like my whole like collab, like doing all of like my decluttering, I did go ahead and actually keep this palette. I thought about getting rid of it. It's the Spanglish palette by Alamar Cosmetics. I kept it A because it is a Hispanic owned brand, but then B, I actually got gifted this by my first YouTube friend, Sharon, here on YouTube. Shout out to Sharon, you guys have heard me talk about her so much. But this definitely brings a memory to me because obviously I felt like I was making, like, I think that was at a crucial time where me and her like collabed together, where we were like, our channels were growing together at the same time too. She obviously has way more followers than I do. I think she's like somewhere in like the 800 range and I'm obviously like in the 600 range. But when we first became friends, I think I had maybe like 200 subscribers. And then she was just so nice to gift this to me, and it made me just like feel so happy and joyful, and it almost made me cry, and I just felt so happy about it. So thank you, Sharon. I really do appreciate you giving me this palette, and I really, really wanted it, and she said she had it and wasn't really wowed by it, and so she sent it to me for free. I told her I would give her the money for shipping, and she said no, and then I was like, how about I send you something back instead, and she said no as well. So again, this just brings back a really good happy memory to me. So yeah, there is that. I would say, so the next one says underrated palette. So do I have an underrated palette that is in here? I feel like I do. Oh my god, I did keep this palette. I didn't think I did. Hold on, I'm sorry. Pause for intermission. There's a palette in here that I thought I got rid of and I didn't. So yeah, that's weird. Okay, so an underrated palette, I'm looking in here really quickly to see if there's something like people don't talk about that often. I feel like it's this one. I really do. I feel like it's the Naked Heat palette that I feel like is a little bit underrated just because it's like so much like neutrals, but I like them because they're like remind me of fall, and they're like those dark kind of like burgundies and browns and brick reds, and I just feel like I didn't hear enough people actually talk about this palette when it came out. I did a whole review video over this one too, obviously, but I just think this one's really underrated. I don't really hear anyone talk about it, and I know they've come out with other palettes. They also had a mini like Fuego palette, and I don't think you can even buy this in stores anymore. I think they've kind of moved on and discontinued it. But this one I definitely feel was a very underrated palette that I didn't really hear many people talk about. Not favorite is the next one, but couldn't get rid of. So I think we can all agree to disagree about this palette. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. I know this one had so many like mixed reviews on it, whether it was good or bad, or there was a bad batch that was out there because some of the shadows were just so like streaky and they didn't really give off any pigmentation on the eye when you use them. And like some of them swatched well, but then they didn't like perform well on the eyes. I got this one, I think at, I believe if I remember, so it was at TJ Maxx when I was in Chicago for a concert with my mom. And we stopped at the TJ Maxx and I found this and it was on sale, so I bought it. and I'm guessing this is more of the new formula. I do like it, but then my only thing about it is there's too many mattes and not enough shimmers, and I love matte shades, but I'm more of a shimmer girl when it comes to like an overall lid shade, and I'm just not wowed by some of these shades. I'm just not wowed by the whole color story, but I bought it just so I could see what the hype was all about, and there is that. Okay. Next category is favorite collab. So when I think of collab, obviously we have to think about some of our favorite influencers that have come out with palettes. My favorite collab that I've ever seen ever come out, and it's just, I just love her to death because she's another Latina just like me. It is Miss Kathleen Lights when she collaborated with ColourPop. These are the two palettes that she came out with. This was her first one, which was Dream Street. Again, such beautiful shades. I used to use this one all the time, but again, you got to give love to all your palettes. And then she also came out with the Zodiac one, and again, I've used this one multiple times as well. We all know ColourPop has great shadows, great payoff, so enough said. But Miss Kathleen Lights does the damn thing when she came out with these palettes with ColourPop. Alright, so the next category is favorite palette of 2021. So I believe this came out in 2021. I was definitely gifted this, and I definitely wanted to make sure that I showed this off. My friend Miss Cassandra Condis got this for me. This is the Morphe 35C Everyday Chic palette. I just know that I fell in love with this in 2021, and I used it a lot. I made sure to also put it in a video where it was themed. I have gravitated towards a lot of these different shades where I've sunken into. We all know Morphe has great formulas as well. So this is just an eyeshadow palette that I know that I just used a lot of in 2021. And oh freak, I just got my fingers all in it. I put an indentation in that. Again, these things, I'm finicking with this, trying to figure out which way it lays. But this was just a palette that I really, really loved in 2021. So that definitely is, if you can still pick this up, I would definitely pick this up just because the color story in it's really beautiful as well. It's just very glamorous. So the next category says didn't expect to love. So when it comes to an eyeshadow palette I didn't expect to love. Ooh, okay. That's very interesting. I would definitely say, okay, so let's go for this one because this one was very overhyped. This is the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia. Again, I do have a few different palettes from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I feel like I thought I had more. I just have these three, but I thought I had more than this. I thought there was one more that was in here, but I don't know if I decluttered that one or not. I believe I did. So, if anything, this is the Modern Renaissance one. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to love this palette just because, again, it is a very, like, neutral type of, like, palette. But, again, some of those shades that I always love, like the shimmers, I fell in love with. I did pretty much dig into every single shade. That you can definitely tell there. So, I didn't expect to love it, but then it became a all-time favorite, and I took it pretty much anywhere and everywhere with me. You can see the wear and tear and just, like, the opening and closing clasp, or opening and closure on the seam right there is pretty well loved. So I think that one is a palette that I didn't expect to love, but then I just fell in love with it, and I fell for the hype of it all at the same time too, and I definitely made sure I got my money's worth out of it. A palette that sparks joy. Ooh. Again, like I'm just trying to figure out a palette that sparks joy. A palette that sparks joy. Okay, so I will definitely go ahead and pick this one. This is the Nikkie Tutorials collaboration. Sorry, this way. The Nikkie Tutorials collaboration with Beauty Bay. We all were waiting for Nikkie to come out with her first palette. She is just such an amazing makeup artist. She has had the opportunity to obviously do makeup on a lot of celebrities too, and obviously she just embodies just good vibes, and just like her personality and everything that she stands for. And this palette itself was just so beautiful when she created it. And again, I've tried to get my use out of it, but I haven't really fully used every single shade in here. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shades in here that I've yet to actually play with, and that's more or less the mattes. All the shimmer shades I've dug into. So I definitely love this palette. It definitely sparks joy in me because, again, she definitely deserved to make this palette and definitely deserved to have her moment with Beauty Bay. And then the last one says first palette used in 2022. So the first palette that I actually used that was like new to me in 2022 was actually this one. I purchased this, I believe, in 2022 as well, or maybe 2021 at the very end, and I finally just used it. But this eyeshadow palette is just so beautiful. It is by Juvia's Place. I've tried to get more into brands I haven't really tried out, especially like Juvia's Place is kind of a little new to me. I only have a concealer by them. I bought the Juvia's Place mystery box in last year during Halloween because it was like $16. And I got another eyeshadow palette out of it that I've swatched but I haven't put on my eyes yet, which was this palette. This is the Festival by Juvia's, and this is what it looks like. The pan sizes are ridiculous, but Juvia's Place is actually very, very affordable at the same time too. So again, like I said, this was only $10 for these for this quad right here, but these green shades are just so beautiful, and this was the first palette that was new to me that I used in 2022. So I should have put up a TikTok about this palette and swatching it, and then I also put it on my eyes and showed you guys what it looked like. So if I do have that TikTok available, I will link it down below for you guys. But yeah, this was the palette that I used in 2022. So that is the end for part 2 for the eyeshadow palette tag, which is very interesting. Again, I'm always like trying to get new eyeshadow palettes, always trying to try new stuff out. I just added 2 more eyeshadow palettes to my collection, but that one was like the first one I used in 2022. I have that other video up, which is my haul of these items that I purchased recently, and I found these 2 Glamlight palettes in Marshall's. So if you guys have a Marshall's, go run to it, see if you guys can find some Glamlight palettes that are on display and they are available to you, because these were like brand spanking new off her cart as she was like going to put them down, and I snagged them up. And then I recently just tried these out for you guys too in a video. So it's the Glamlight Viva Taco palette. That's what that one looks like. The pigmentation again is amazing. So I'm so excited I was actually able to have these, especially since I've heard Paige Corin talk about these a lot. So again, super, super beautiful, super, super pretty. So other than that, that is the end of the video. So again, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching today's video. You guys know the gist. If you like videos like this, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to go ahead and hit that notification bell down below so you never miss a video with me, your girl Sandra D, and I'll see you in the next one.